Hello Cancer and welcome to Looking Glass Letterbox. I am Erica and this is the general reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising for August of 2019. Again, it is a general reading, so it may not connect or resonate for all of you out there, but hopefully there's something here that you can take with you that's fun or interesting or helpful into Leo season. If you are a new viewer, welcome. I appreciate the time and attention. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome as well. I appreciate all of the support that you guys have been giving me, all of the likes and the shares and the subscriptions. I am so grateful for it. I realize your time and attention is valuable, and I really appreciate that you take the time to listen to what I have to say. So thank you so much for that. I have a new spread on the table here for this month. I've got some new oracle cards that I hope that you're going to enjoy. I've really been enjoying working with those. If you want to know about any of the decks that I'm using in today's video, I've listed them in the description down below. And we are going to get started with what is moving out of influence from Cancer season. Cancer season was really heavy on the internal processing of changing circumstance and time. A lot of avenues and situations and things that many of us have been engaged with over the past sometimes several years, sometimes decades, but a lot of courses have been closed, a lot of doors have been shut, and situations are just no longer available to many of us out there. So the readjusting and the internal processing of that change was rather heavy throughout July. But going into Leo season, we're in Leo season, is dynamic and exciting, and I'm feeling like a lot of abundant and explosive sort of creativity and activity and opportunity. So if y'all are ready for that, I'm certainly ready for that. Cancer season was a little heavy for me. So moving out of influence for Cancer is Seven of Swords. Okay, so again, internal processing, internal intellectual scope of awareness and application. The Seven of Swords, it's sort of like you've considered what to take and what to leave behind, what information to prioritize and review and either put away as being finished with it and to carry forward and bring with you. There's some information that you're sitting on here. So you may have, many of you may have come to a decision or come into possession of some sort of information that you're going to apply in the future, but this sly little fox down here, not really ready to release that information in Cancer season or up until this point moving into Leo season. So whatever understanding you've come to, whatever information you're now in possession of, or just perspective you're in possession of, because the swords is also our story, our memory, how we intellectually conceptualize ourselves, our identity, our life, what we're capable of, what we're not capable of. All of the sphere of thought that we apply to ourselves and our lives is within the swords. And the seven is related to the Chariot, which is the card of Cancer, in Cancer season. And it's an active card. It's about taking command of everything, kind of moving in different directions and pulling you in one direction over here and in another direction over there. And then momentum that's also built up behind you, sort of putting pressure on your ability to take action and to work with that momentum to move you forward in an effective manner. So if you were dealing with that in Cancer season, my goodness, that's well done. You've come to a form of alignment and understanding and perception to move forward. At this point, going into Leo season and active in Leo season, you are the magician. You're in the space of the magician. So you are capable, you have the tools that you need, the understanding that you need, the openness and receptivity that you need to generate and manifest and create and also the acceptance and the openness to sort of receive experience and information and development as you go. So you're at a point of being wildly capable at manifesting and creating a new avenue of experience, a new realm. You're at a point of expansion, let's say, point of abundant, explosive sort of expansion. And that is beautiful, beautiful for Leo season. And then as we draw further into Leo season, going into Virgo season at the end of the month, you're going to be at a point of completion, a point of establishment with the 10 of Pentacles. Lovely. So whatever it is that you've decided, you've sort of gone through some details and gone through some intellectual in conceptualizing and planning and acquiring different information and ideas, and then applying that magician energy to create and manifest and sort of start the ball rolling with this idea. Going into the end of the month, you are going to reach some level of establishment and completion in the real world, because Pentacles is real world, real time, real life stuff, homework, money, family. You're going to make some progress, some big strides in progress that are sort of on a broad scope over the way that you're living your life right now. And that's beautiful. Wonderful, Cancer. Very excited for you. Okay, so this is a situation that some of you may be dealing with as we're moving through Leo season. So the situation is, okay, envisioning the future, making plans, deciding on the next endeavor that you're going to embark upon. See, he's standing there, he's got the world in his hands, he's got stability on both sides, sort of aligning his purpose with his intention and drawing up the plan to carry forward. All right, and looking out to the horizon to see what is available and what direction he's going to take. So that is the situation, making the decisions about how to carry forward. Not the decision to carry forward, you've already done that. You're already in the space of the magician. You've already been active in conceptualizing it, and then the inception of how to do that initial level of creation and alchemy to manifest. And this is about finding out how to carry forward from there, what to do next, okay? And this may be the problem within that scenario. Knight of Cups, okay, the Make-A-Wish. So this is a point of being emotionally satisfied to a point where you can be generous. It is the Make-A-Wish card, so if there is, clearly there's something that you want to manifest, there's something that you are engaging in the universe, with the universe to receive from the universe. It's an exchange of energy. But with this card in a position of being a potential problem, it may represent a sort of state of complacency, of after initial endeavor, initial achievement, initial response and acquisition, of sort of sitting still and not carrying forward. So after that first burst of generation has occurred, and that first level of establishment or achievement has been recognized and received, you still have to decide how to carry that forward so that it may further manifest. All right, because this is a long-term energy. This isn't, it looks like it's like, okay, you've decided to do something, you did everything to do the thing, and then the thing happened, and then you did it. But this is a long-term establishment energy. So you do need to carry forward in investing and supporting and replenishing activity with whatever this is that you've been creating, in order for it to be a stable point of foundation. All right, because it's sort of at this stage, it's initial achievement, but if you don't continue to engage with it and replenish it and renourish it and revitalize it and invest in it, it can crumble away at that point. So this may indicate reaching a state of complacency where it's making that foundation a little wobbly, to where if you don't decide to move forward, if you don't take the actions to move forward and reinforce this establishment, it can then fall away again, and then you're back to square one. So an action to take to help you to move through that scenario is Queen of Wands. Okay, charismatic, active, public. So being in contact with people, being social, being public, getting up and going out and connecting with people, creating relationships and supporting foundation around what you've already achieved. So this is about being active and social and charismatic and commanding and understanding that generating those connections and that energy around what it is that you're trying to manifest is important to carry that forward and to move out of that point of complacency and not just sit in that space by yourself. You have all of this abundance available to share with other people and to connect with other people and other opportunities and other scenarios and other avenues of interaction. But you don't want to stay sitting in that room by yourself. You want to bring in, and expand the space and bring in people and bring in opportunity and bring in investment to exchange with. Okay, because sitting here alone isn't going to move you forward, isn't going to help you to expand and develop. You have to get out there and be social and be seen and be engaged and be a part of something larger than just yourself in order to move this forward. Okay, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. All right, so we're going to do an A-B scenario for those of you that may help. So option A is Jack of Clubs. So that's sort of the Page of Wands, Knight of Wands. Okay, so again, active endeavor, the wands, actively engaging with the wands. Option B is Five of Pentacles. All right, so that is being disconnected. That is the left out in the cold, the Knight of Pentacles. So being disconnected from resources, being disconnected from community, being disconnected from opportunity, and allowing yourself to stay removed from all of those things. And that is in opposition to the wands, the Knight and the Jack specifically. Sorry, the Jack is the Knight and the Page, a combination of that one. And that is about kind of getting prepared and getting fired up and, telling people sort of the hype, about, going out and generating excitement amongst a community about the things that you are excited about or that you want to develop. It's about engaging with that passion that you have with life, new ideas, giving, that creative restlessness, a strong pull towards using those ideas to start a new phase of life and stepping out onto a path that's calling for you. That's with the Page. And then with the Knight, it's the action of actively doing that. You're charged up with energy and motivated and enthusiastic and channeling that energy through inspired action, with ambition and with confidence and going out there to make things happen. Whereas the Five of Pentacles is staying out in the cold, not looking around for a warm place to go to, not looking around for resources to connect with, not looking around and seeing who's out there and available that wants to be a part of your network, not looking for opportunities to engage with, kind of, standing still on your own out in the cold and not looking for any avenue of comfort or connection. So how to decide to move through the sort of detachment and a lack of connection with with community and resource, and the ambition and motivation and excitement and sort of intrepid spirit to carry you forward is, let's see, this is a sort of an action to take to move you through that. 10 of Swords. Okay, so 10 of Swords is the completion of negative sort. Well, it's a communicate. This is a card that's of all the negativity out there, of all the judgment and the criticism and the fear and the opposition and the betrayal and all of those ugly thoughts that sort of make you feel unworthy, or make you feel prohibited or limited or unwelcome, or whatever prevents you, whatever keeps you standing out in the cold. Whatever those thoughts are that you have about yourself or what you are capable of that prevent you, you're done. You're done with those. You're over it. You're finished. This is the point. You're releasing that stuff. You're putting it in the past, letting it lie, and moving on from it. You're tired of letting it hold you back. At that point where you're just so exhausted from that weight that you're carrying, from all those thoughts or those understandings or those stories or those scripts that you run over and over and over in your head that prevent you from being vivacious, that prevent you from going out there and being, hey, look what I'm doing, look what I like, look what I want to engage in. Do you guys want to be part of it? Come here, let me show you this. Isn't this awesome? Isn't this amazing? I want to share this with you. Are you excited about it? I'm excited about it. The 10 of Swords is what keeps you in the 5 of Pentacles space and prevents you from achieving the status of the Queen of Wands. And holding that space and holding court and knowing that you are resplendent and magnetic and attractive, and that people enjoy your company and like when you're around and can be excited about the things that you're excited about, and in that space of sort of exuberant connectivity, and vitality and vivaciousness and all of that sort of thing. So at the point where you're over it, where you're over all of the nonsense that runs through your head, and you take all of those thoughts out and you look at them and you're like, I'm finished, I'm done with it, I'm not having this anymore, this doesn't even matter, it doesn't even matter, it doesn't matter anymore, this is old junk, I'm finished with it. All right, that's sort of what you were doing with the 7 of Swords here. You were going through all of the nonsense, all of that old understanding and perception of who you are, what your life has been, and the potential that it has. You've kind of been through a phase of clearing out those spaces and prioritizing your intentions and your understanding, and you've come to a conclusion here with this little sword that you have. And as soon as you draw that sword out and you move into the space of the Magician and start being active here, is when you're going to manifest that abundance and that foundation for the future. So to continue supporting that abundance and that foundation that you're currently developing, you have to remember that when the 10 of Swords sort of comes back into your line of vision and you're like, oh yeah, sort of old habit, old understanding of yourself and your habits and your behaviors, remembering to pay attention to those things and to choose to engage with the intrepid spirit and move forward, and not to fall back into that cold night out on your own with no one around. So not sort of falling back into that sort of depressive or repressed state. And instead, when you notice that this 10 of Swords is sort of starting to come back into your field of vision, being like, no, I finished that, and charging boldly forward and tapping into that exuberant, revitalizing spirit, so that you can get to this space of the Queen of Wands and embody that energy. All right? Beautiful. Okay. This is your good luck charm, your animal spirit card for the month, and that is the octopus. Beautiful water. So it is the this card is making sure you pay attention to boundaries, okay? Because the octopus it's interested and it's engaged and it's intelligent. It's wonderfully perceptive, but it does exemplify sort of a lack of healthy boundaries shows up with this card. So especially when your sort of intrepid spirit is engaged and you're going out and you're connecting with people and talking to people and or networks or opportunities, and you're like generating some attention and some connective and some reciprocity, you're requesting participation from outside yourself. And when you do that, you have to remember to set up a healthy amount of boundaries so that it doesn't become intrusive or then become prohibitive on the other side of the Five of Coins and the Ten of Swords. Okay, you don't want so much involvement that you are completely open and available with no, protection or boundary or privacy. But you don't want to be so closed off that you're repressed or depressed or cut off from interaction. So when you're feeling needy or clingy or you're lacking courage, or you feel like the lines of privacy are a little bit shaky, and you're getting too involved with other people's stuff, or they're getting too involved with your stuff, or sharing without restraint, then that's sometimes that's confused with being close. But that's not closeness, that's intrusiveness. Closeness is you still need to have a healthy level of boundary and privacy within those relationships and within those connections. So if you ever notice that after spending time in a situation or time with someone in particular that you feel drained and uneasy, then that's when you know that the boundary is shaky and you need to establish a certain level of privacy again, just a little bit of distance, so that it doesn't become so that that situation or that scenario or that relationship doesn't become a draining or a needy or sort of an energy vacuum for you, so that you can maintain your equilibrium at a healthy balance. And not just you, but the other person as well. Okay, so healthy boundaries are important. It could be related to these old habits and old behaviors and the way that you used to behave in relationships. You may have had a lack of healthy boundaries in the past, so it may just be old behavior and old response that's rearing up. Just pay attention to those things, so that then you can place down some what's the word I'm looking for? Some healthy boundaries and some restraint within that scenario, so that it can remain healthy and abundant and replenishing and reciprocal, and one doesn't overwhelm the other. Okay, so just pay attention to that, and but don't. That doesn't mean you have to diminish your perception or your interest or your curiosity. It just means that you need to respect boundaries and also have your own boundaries in place, so that it can be an engaging and beneficial experience, as opposed to a draining or an interfering sort of experience. All right, this is your Enchanted Map Oracle card, and you have encouragement. Beautiful. Okay, so encouragement is you're receiving a nudge in the right direction. All right, so this is about, intuitively, if you feel like, things are rolling and you feel like, okay, you take this step and this other one opens up, and then you take the next step and another door opens up and you take the next step, and you're like, if you feel like something's going really good in a certain direction, follow through with that. Keep following that trail. That's a sign that you're being encouraged to step into your power further, step into the dreams that you have. New things are out there for you to explore, and the sort of universe is nurturing and giving you a nudge to move in that direction for further expansion, for further experience. So help is going to show up when you need it, when you're being encouraged. You're not going to be alone on that road. Every step you take is supported, and you're on the right path. So continue to go. So when you're feeling that things are particularly in flow and that it's just it keeps happening, don't. A common response, common human response, when you notice that that's happening, is to be like, "Whoa, what's happening? This is too good to be true. It's running too smoothly. I don't understand." So that's the Ten of Swords rearing up. Why is this going so well? This can't be a real thing if there's nothing happening that's wrong. Why am I being allowed to carry on? Why am I being allowed to have this fulfillment and these dreams that I have coming true and feel like, okay, this is really going to happen? That fear of actually achieving your dream, it's really hard to step into that space of embracing your arrival at that goal. It's a very strange response. It's counterintuitive, but it happens all the time. Somebody makes a wish for something remarkable to happen. It shows up, it's standing right in front of them, or it's right there in front of their face. But because of the fear of the acquisition of that dream, they reject it. They either ignore it, pretend they don't see it, pretend it's not there, or they just leave it. It just sits there and they don't do anything with it, and then it just dissolves. It's a very strange thing, but it's a very human thing, and that's a Ten of Swords sort of influence there as well. Just remember, you're encouraged to embrace your success, embrace your achievement. You're in a prime area of manifesting what you've always wanted. You're taking the time to plan and consider how to move forward, and embodying that charismatic spirit and that sort of understanding and authority and sitting in that space of resplendent abundance. Okay, and it's a very fiery sort of thing. So for a water sign, sometimes that might be a little bit trepidatious, because the emotional currents, especially for Cancers, can sometimes be self-denial for some of us. So just when you have that rear up and that sort of fear of achieving what it is your dream is, when that happens, take a breath, take a moment, and just recognize, okay, I am afraid that this dream is going to come true. I'm afraid of it. And acknowledging that fear of accepting a dream coming true is going to help you move through to receiving it. Just being like, okay, this is what I've always wanted. I'm afraid once I get it, I'm not going to know what to do with it, or I'm going to drop it, or I'm going to break it, or, just consider what it is that would prevent you from stepping into that space of success. And whatever that is, ask the questions. Okay, well, if I'm afraid that I'm going to break this or I'm going to ruin it in some way, how would I ruin it? What would I do? What would I not do? Go through the routine. Like if you were trying to help somebody else through their fear of achievement, if you were kind of treat yourself like you were talking to your best friend, and move through it from a more objective sort of perspective, so that you don't drop the ball, so that you can stand in that space and achieve that level of establishment, and then reinvest in it to move further forward. Okay, if that makes sense. I hope this makes sense. I'm very wordy in these last few videos, so I hope I'm not just babbling. Okay, so this is the universe has your back. This is, when I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. Okay, so this is about control. At the bottom of the deck, for this top line, you have the Emperor. Okay, so that is about being in command and in control and having authority, sort of divine masculine authority over things outside of yourself, sort of holding dominion, sort of energy, and being capable of doing that and extending and enforcing that level of control and stability and influence in your life. And at this line, you have the Strength card. So it is applying your integrity and your courage and your disposition in persuading things that stand in opposition to you to your side, to work for you instead of against you. And in this scenario, it seems like what is working against you, like you're your own worst enemy with the 10 of swords, the 10 of spades here. That's definitely you're your own worst enemy scenario. So you're in a space of sort of having to convince yourself to work on your own behalf, if that makes sense as well. I understand that. I hope some of you, whoever this is speaking to, I hope I'm not being too confusing. So there are things, you do have control and authority on the things in your life, especially when you're standing in a space, and holding a space of manifestation. But the things that you recognize that are out of your control, so that is time and circumstance and when things show up for you to engage with. You can say yes to opportunity, you can say no to opportunity, but when the opportunity is available is not up to you. The extent of the opportunities that are available to you at any one given time is not up to you. So surrendering that level of control, like you control what comes around, like you control on that level, surrendering that is what this is talking about. So it's sort of being in a state of control as being engaged and being attentive and being interested and being excited and making plans and moving forward on courses of action and following through on success and recovering from failure. All of that is up to you to navigate and to have control within. What the universe provides to you and what circumstance serves up, that is all of the stuff that you say yes to, but you're not in control of when all of that stuff shows up. So this is about being at a point of receptivity and attention and awareness, so that when you do have that control, when you do have the yes, no button available to you to engage or to deny, that's what this is for. So just remaining receptive and open and attentive, so when the opportunity is available, then you can say yes or no. But you're not in control of when that's going to show up. So releasing your sort of expectation is what that is. Releasing your expectation of how things are going to manifest and when is what this is talking about. And that's actually going to help you to progress even further, because you're not going to be waiting for one thing. You're not going to be waiting for that one thing that you're putting all your eggs in one basket and depending on that thing to be the thing that allows you to achieve success. You're going to be paying attention to everything that presents itself that is going to allow for a more efficient and abundant level of manifestation. Okay? And then this is Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection, and you have Karma is on your side. And this is, if you could read all the minds that I read, hear all the prayers that I hear, and beat all the hearts that I beat, I wonder if you'd even believe how often you're thought of, talked about, and fallen in love with. It's payback time. Andale, andale, the universe. Wow, so, this card suggests that things are going to start rolling out. That part of the universe that you don't have control over, I think it's going to be firing up to bring a whole lot of opportunity to you in Leo season, because of what you've already invested, how you've already developed, how you've already prepared. So everything that you've done up to this point is sort of feeding this engine of opportunity that is going to start presenting itself to you. And your level of interest and receptivity with the octopus here and attention is going to play very nicely into that scenario. But just remember, in order to take care of yourself and to help to prevent you falling back into old habit and old systems of thinking and old sort of states of scarcity and depression or removal from opportunity. Remember to establish healthy boundaries and to nurture and replenish and attend to your well-being, so that you don't fall into those old negative mindsets that can really do a number on you and just stop all of this in its tracks if you let it grab hold. Okay, because it can really sort of stymie you for a long time if you let those two, the Five of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords, if you let those two things really grip onto you again, it can be hard to release them. So just remember to establish healthy boundaries and be excited to carry forward. All right, I have one more card for you. My goodness, I've just spoken to you guys for a while today. If you are interested in getting your own personal video reading from me, the booking is still down. The store is under construction. It's almost complete. I will make an announcement and let you guys know when bookings go live again. So for those of you who are wanting to book your time, I'll let you know as soon as that is available. All right, and then this is your beautiful thoughts to take with you through August. And you have gotten, keep shining my bright and shining star of a friend, Ivy Baker Priest. All right, so yeah, keep shining bright, keep twinkling, keep sparkling, keep working towards hitting that Queen of Wands space and appreciating and engaging with that magician space, and looking forward to the future, and just pay attention to when complacency starts to set in, when old thought patterns start to try to drag you backwards, and when old mindsets try to keep you still. All right, because I want you guys to keep moving forward and keep developing and keep coming to further and further growth and manifestations. So excellent, wonderful, Cancer. Have a fantastic and fabulous August, and I will see you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye.